Okay, so let me ask you a question. On what day did you decide on the vocal accent you were going to have? Can you tell me? Probably not, because it doesn't really work like that, does it? You don't really decide you're going to have a particular accent, it just happens. If I asked you the question of like, well, how did you choose your sources, your influences to speak the way that you do, you probably couldn't answer that either, because that's not how it works. What actually happens is when we're little, often around our parents and our family, but not just our parents and family, we pick up a vocal accent through constant exposure to a particular sound, to a particular way of speaking. And it changes us. It changes the way that we speak to each other and, even the way that we hear ourselves. And it doesn't happen on a specific day. It doesn't ring an alarm bell, but it does happen eventually. And we don't notice it when it happens. In fact, we are so inured to the acquisition of an accent that a lot of people grow up thinking they have no accent at all. This is just the normal way to speak. Now, think for a moment about the internet. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Some of the speed bumps and barriers to people who are just trying to have the worst kinds of conversations are coming down, which means that the worst kinds of conversations are increasing in intensity and in frequency. And social media puts you in the environment where they figure out what makes you angry based on all the data points they have about you. And they're kind of hoping you're going to get mad and going to become irritated, because then you'll fight. And if you start to do that, you end up spending more time on a social media platform, and that's how they make their money. So my question remains, how did you decide to pick up your accent? Well, we didn't do it that way. And it's because human beings change based on what they're constantly exposed to. And you don't notice when it's happening, and you don't choose which things you let in and which things you don't. So if you're surrounded by negative and toxic conversations, you may go into that situation thinking that you're one of the good guys and that you can't be affected, or even that you're going to set some people straight. But what actually happens is it changes you into one of those people. And I know this because I shut down my personal Facebook account not too long ago, because I found that just being exposed to those things was changing me. And I made a naive mistake thinking that being exposed only through my Red Heaven social media accounts would be different, and it's not that different. Facebook is flinging garbage at me all the time and trying to bait me into getting angry, and I'm finding that I'm thinking about closing down all my Red Heaven social media accounts, which I don't really want to do. But I also have to draw the line somewhere, as we all do, about like what kind of influence do we want to have on the way that we speak to each other and the way that we think about engaging people, and what the most important things are, which hills you want to die on, if you want to put it that way. Somebody said something to me that was really interesting once, which is that you cannot stand next to a person who is sick and expect them to catch health from you. So if you're standing or spending time in the company of people who are sick online, you can't really expect them to catch health from you.